and welcome to the sprint for the Emilia-Romagna time of the weekend here in Misano for MotoGP, and I can't hear myself as well, so I'm just going to have to keep holding this. I'm going to read out the grid for you quickly. On row 1 we have Bagnaia, Martin and Bastianini. Row 2 is Binder, Costa and Bezzecchi. Row 3 is Morbidelli, Aleix Espargaro and Oliveira. Row 5 is D'Antonio, Raul Fernandez and and Luca Marini. Row 6 is Mia Zarco and Fernandez. Row 7 is Miller, Nakagami and Alex Marquez. And I think that's all of them. I am not completely sure. I don't even know if I actually managed to get like the grid numbers right, because in my mind I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Though in my mind I'm thinking, are you on that number? Though, you know, the doubt when you're counting. I still have that. Currently on the warm-up lap for the sprint. The Tissot sprint. We used to call it the Tissot sprint, but then we found out that's not how you say it. Even though it sounded so right, but apparently it was so wrong. 14 laps to go round this track. Currently we are on that lap 1 technically, given we include the formation lap in that thing. There are 13 laps to go round in the sprint. About halfway through the warm-up lap everyone is. It is very sunny. Air temperature is 23 Celsius. The track temperature is 36 Celsius. That is a decent track temperature. Wish it could be higher, but still, it's decent. And I am quite thirsty right now. Though I've left my drink in my room, so coming up to the grid now, everyone checking where they are going. And my drink's just been handed to me. Thank you. About to get underway. Lights are about to go out. You can see the anticipation on each and every one of them, each checking where they are on the marks. 5 lights, and we'll go for the Tissot sprint. Everyone gets a good start. Martin gets an excellent start into turn 1. Further down the back of the grid, you can see it's 4 into 1 corner. Martin manages to get the upper hand on Bagnaia, however, and Bastianini into turn 1. Binder is in 4th place there. And, oh, I've been handed the iPad to do it. Still 13 laps to go. Augusto Fernandez goes right down to almost the bottom of the field. Acosta gets past Bezzecchi, and Miller goes into 18th place. Vinales gets past D'Antonio, and going into this corner now. We have 3 abreast right now. It looks kind of slow, the pictures, to me. I'm not as skilled as doing this as Joshua when it comes to the really fast talking on this way. Mia just dropped 2 places further down the back of the field. Binder tried to get past both Bagnaia and Bastianini at the same time, but failed. Already a almost 7/10 gap between Martin and Bagnaia. Hold on, my pictures have just gone a bit blurry. Marc Marquez has gone into 4th position, passing Brad Binder. Quartararo passes Bezzecchi, and my screen's gone blurry again, so I'm going to have to go off this. And who's that moving? Raul Fernandez made his way up the field to even get past his own teammate even more, given the bad start that they kind of had. Wasn't the greatest, wasn't too bad though. Right, 12 laps to go. Lap 1 has already been completed. Oh, and my pictures have finally gone clearer, so I can actually properly talk now. Because it is so hard with blurry screens. The gap has gone down between Martin and Bagnaia to 5.5 tenths. Further down the back, Augusto Fernandez drops into 20th after getting passed by Zarco. Everyone keeping extremely steady at the moment, trying to build up. The gaps are slowly increasing, however. Acosta is getting very close to Babindo, trying to go around the inside, and can he hold it going into this straight? He can. He has managed to pass and hold off Brad Binder going round one of the corners. Here's an onboard of Acosta right now. Keeping it steady and just narrowly avoiding the green. I think this is turn 11 right now that we just saw. Yeah, I think it would be. And that's Bastianini with a track limits warning. No jump starts according to the notifications. Martin's just set a 130.920, and that is Augusto Fernandez with a track limits warning as well. So obviously they have hit the green going round, I think it was turn 8. Here is, I think that's turn 11 now. We're going round. Only 82 thousandths off the pace. Of course, the gap between Martin and Bagnaia is 5 tenths between the two of them. Bagnaia has just set a 130.838, however. 11 laps to go now. And what's that? Bagnaia has just been... Okay, Bastianini's just been given a track limits warning. And I saw... D'Antonio has been passed by Oliveira and Quartararo. That's who else I saw getting a track limits warning. Quartararo has been given a track limits warning. Seems like he was going past turn 2, it would have been, or 3. 2 or 3, I can't determine which one, though it seems he's got that going round one of those two corners. And Oliveira and Fernandez, keep passing each other continuously. They're in a fight right there, and Vinales has a track limits warning. Going past the line now, 10 laps to go. Entering into turn 1. Everything seems smooth for Bagnaia so far, trying to catch up as much as he can to Martin. Can't quite do it though. He is still remaining steady at 5 tenths, so he's closing the gap very quickly around these last two corners. And just managed to get it down to 4 tenths of a second behind Martin. Currently on board with Martin now. You can just see Bagnaia just slowly getting closer and closer. He's just managed to get another tenth on Martin. So catching up very quickly, Martin is going to have to really take a defensive strategy near the end of this lap, it seems. So Bastianini is 8 tenths back from Martin, and time's just been lost for Bagnaia there. Though it was gained for Bastianini, his teammate. Morbidelli has just been given a track limits warning as well. That must have been going round, because where he is, yeah, that seemed to be like between the corners of 2 to 5. I can't be sure which, since he is not currently on screen. Currently looking at the lead group of Martin and Bagnaia, with Bastianini just very close behind. He is 7.5 tenths back now, Bastianini is. And Bagnaia has lost a tenth of a second, it seems, and now up to 6 tenths, given he lost some time at that last sector, last lap. Right, 9 laps to go now. Currently we have 5 riders on track limits. Currently the gap in the standings is Martin leading by 10 with 324 points, with Bagnaia trailing 10 behind. So I think that is a increase of about 4 points, maybe 3 points. So the gap's just been put down to 0.427 between the two championship contenders. And what's this? Acosta has a track limits warning. Didn't he already have one? No, he didn't already have one, though he's just received one. that's near the end. It appears he got that near the end of the lap. Going on to lap 8 nearly. Entering the final 2 corners. And what will the gap be when we cross this line between Martin and Bagnaia? Further down the field, we can see a really close battle forming between Emilia-Romagna and Oliveira. They only have a 10th between each other. The gap is 4 tenths between Martin and Bagnaia, however. A second has been made between Bastianini and Martin, however. So obviously Bastianini has lost a bit of time since he has actually got extremely close now to Marquez. Maybe 8 tenths away, but still that's extremely close for him. Bagnaia is on. We are on board with him right now. And is that another? Nakagami has just been given a... Did I miss that one off? I obviously didn't see that one before, but Nakagami has a track limits warning. That makes 7 people with a track limit. Fastest lap goes to Bagnaia with a 1:30.792. Slowly catching up to Martin. The gap now between the two of them is 2 tenths of a second. Closest it's been all race, apart from when they started, obviously. No, even then, he lost a lot of time on the opening lap. Because Martin got such a good and smooth getaway. I don't think we've actually had a replay of that so far. Emilia-Romagna has finally been passed by Oliveira. And Marini has just lost 2 places to Mia and Zarco. So he must have gone wide a bit there. Yeah, I'm having to drink a lot because of how much commentary I've been doing today and without a drink. Right, Miller's just Okay, I'm confused about this. Who just passed Miller? I feel like Miller was just passed and then he got the position back straight away. So obviously that was a very failed attempt at a pass. Currently looking at Martin and Bagnaia. Bagnaia getting extremely close fifth. However, the gap looks to be getting even further away. The gap seems to be going steadily back to 4 tenths of a second between the two of them throughout these last few laps. 7 laps to go though, and the gap between Bagnaia and Bastianini now is 1.2 seconds. Obviously Bastianini is losing a lot of time. Either that or Martin and Bagnaia are just seeming to just sprint away. Mind the pun. Right, so is this a replay of Bagnaia almost losing it? It seems. He almost lost it going round one of the turns. I think it was one of the hairpins, to be honest. Currently on board with Martin just then. And wow, my throat is really dry. And Mia has a track limits warning. See, he's battling too much with Miller that he keeps getting track limits warnings. Right. So, people with track limits currently are Bastianini, Acosta, Quartararo, Morbidelli, Vinales, Fernandez, Augusta that is, and Nakagami, that I can see. 6 laps left to go. Currently looking at the battle between Bagnaia and Martin. I'd love to see one of the midfield battles. I mean, I get this is an exciting battle. Martin's just had a track limits warning. Okay, now that's exciting. So he did end up losing 2 tenths of a second with that track limits warning. And I just saw something change on here. Alex Marquez has just been given a track limits warning on board with Bagnaia right now. Getting closer and closer to Martin. The gap is now just under 2 tenths of a second between them, and that's going around a corner. So gap is getting closer and closer. I've just seen Mia pass Zarco for 18th position. 6 laps left to go, and here's the track limits for Martin cropping up. Right, on board with Bagnaia. And now we get a bird's eye view of the two of them. Oh, please. Bagnaia tries to go round the outside of Martin. Can he hold it? Yes, he can! Bagnaia manages to finally get past Martin, and I swear I just heard a crowd. I'm not sure. Which is weird, because I'm not sure whether grandstands are open. I swear the few fans that are actually there are very loud. So that means Bagnaia is now in the lead. Martin now has a 1.3 gap to... Here's a replay. Oh, it appears that Martin went slightly off, so that's where he's lost a bit of time and got closer to Bastianini. So that allowed for Bagnaia to go around the inside of him. I can't be sure what corner it is. Looks like 10-11. But... oh, it could be. But it looks like Bagnaia was just able to get past him due to that one tiny little mistake and going on the curves, that little tiny bit. And Bagnaia was just able to get through, and he has already gained 0.5 of a second to Martin, and Bastianini seems to have woken up a bit since he's closing down the gap between him and Martin, which is now 0.2 closer. The gap's now increased between Bagnaia and Martin to 0.6, and Oliveira has a track limits warning. 5 laps to go of this sprint race. Currently, the order stands with the top 10 being Bagnaia, Martin, Bastianini, Marc Marquez, who's calling up the order, Acosta, Binder, Quartararo, Bezzecchi, Morbidelli, and Vinales. Just outside of the points, Oliveira and Aleix Espargaro are currently battling it out for 11th position, trying to get into 10th. So can't quite make it. 4 laps to go now. That was a very long lap. Does anyone else feel like lap 5 just went really, really long? Right, so Josh was right, I do say right 7 laps. Currently looking at Marc Marquez. Is this a replay? What happened to him? Okay, so going round, I'm pretty sure that's turn 11. Oh, he went off the track at turn 13. He went off the track at turn 13, completely missing. He literally went straight across the green and just went right onto the thing. Thankfully avoided the gravel and managed to stay on the bike. But a long lap penalty for Mir, exceeding track limits. So he will have that's the same message cropping up. And Alex Marquez further down the field passes Raul Fernandez for 14th. And Aleix Espargaro has been given a track limits warning. 3 laps to go of the sprint race. A 5/10 gap between Bagnaia and Martin, and between Martin and Bastianini there's a 1.2 second gap, so it appears like Bagnaia and Martin will be our first and second unless something unimaginable happens, which is kind of not unimaginable. If one or both of them crash out, I mean, it's happened before. I'm sure it's happened today. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's happened today with Bagnaia. No, not Bagnaia. Martin. And, yep, I think Mir is about to do his long lap penalty, meaning he will go into last position because no way he's making up the time he will lose. 3 laps to go. Currently on board with Martin, trying to get past Bagnaia. He's just losing time. That is... okay, so let's look at this. Increasing speed going round the corner. Yeah, he seems to be... he can't make it. He's maintaining a 5/10 gap between the two of them, which keeps increasing as it goes on. And Martin... was that Martin going slightly wide there? So he's just lost a tiny little bit of time there. Going across the line now, it's 2 laps to go. That gap between Bastianini and Martin is actually getting extremely close now. Well, it's getting closer and closer. And it's just trying to look here. No one else has got a track limits warning since. And I believe Q2 has just finished for F1. Anyone wants to know? Here's a replay of turn 13. And that is where the pass on Martin from Bagnaia happened. So that's where it happened. I couldn't figure out whether it was turn 11 or not. So it's turn 13. And yeah, that was just so simple for Bagnaia to do. Speaking of, I'm pretty sure this is turn 13 right now. Nope. No, that is turn 15, I believe. And I'd love to see the battle between Bezzecchi and Quartararo right now. Well, the battle in that area at least. Because... Can you please... Okay, there's a 6/10 gap between Bagnaia and Martin. I'd love to see more from the people who are extremely close together. Just seen 2 notifications pop up. Zarco has a track limits warning, and Ralph Fernandez has a penalty due to a shortcut. So he has a penalty. Last lap of the Tissot sprint in Emilia-Romagna. Oh, and that's what I saw. Bezzecchi has finally got past Quartararo. So can he hold for position? I'd love to see that battle right now, but it's not showing up. And Quartararo has taken back 7th position from Bezzecchi. He is really going for it this weekend. I can imagine that in the race tomorrow, he is just going to be try and get as close as he can to that podium. I'm really hoping for Quartararo to actually get a podium tomorrow. And someone else just got a track limits warning, though it was not showing up. Right, so... Oh, I believe Bastianini just took another track limits. I can't be completely sure, though I can swear he got on that green. Final sector now. I'm so tempted to stand up whenever it's the final sector, though cannot because I'm sitting down. Right, final sector going into, I believe this is the final corner, and Bagnaia manages to hold off Martin, and he crosses the line. Bagnaia crosses the line in first position with Martin in second, and third his teammate of Bastianini. That is brilliant. Bagnaia, who at the start of this race got such a bad start, while Martin just manages to go right ahead in the start, and Nakagami has been given 19th, I believe, on the entrance to the line, and the gap now in the championship is only 4 points between Martin and Bagnaia, with Bagnaia in the lead with 321. So I will read you through the order quickly, since we have to get over to the other F1 thing. In first, winning. Oh, who's that? Ralph Fernandez has a 3-second penalty, failed to comply with his long lap penalty, it seems. Right, on the podium for the sprint race is Bagnaia in first, second is Martin, even though he had an amazing start. He just lost it halfway through the race, going wide. Third is Bastianini, fourth is Marc Marquez, fifth is Acosta, Binder is in sixth, seventh is Quartararo, Bezzecchi's in eighth, ninth is Morbidelli, Vinales is in 10th, 11th is Oliveira, 12th is Aleix Espargaro, D'Antonio comes in 13th, 14th is Alex Marquez, 15th is Ralph Fernandez, Jack Miller is 16th, Luca Marini 17th, Zarco is in 18th, Nakagami 19th, 20th is Augusto Fernandez, Mir is in 21st. So thank you for watching. Please go over to JBMotorsports 1 because there is a qualifying going on for F1. Congratulations to Bagnaia on his sprint race victory. Oh, and he's lost his flag. he has dropped his flag on the track. Well, someone will pick that up soon, I assume. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.